I think this is what it's gonna sound like if I'm talking.
It's gonna sound real good.
If I'm talking, will it sound like this?
Yeah. Welcome back.
I got my booster shot.
You
on
did?
Friday, and now I'm infected with rat disease.
Yeah.
So
has your Wi-Fi been oddly working better than it was?
It is. My skin is starting to get a little bit scaly too.
Oh, okay.
You know, that's definitely probably the lizard DNA that's in there.
Definitely.
As to the dead babies in the vaccine, yeah. I'm not feeling that yet. I wonder if that taste comes later.
You don't feel Satan's grasp on your soul?
Not yet. I don't feel the mark of the beast yet. But I will say this. You coughed, and it was a joke. But dead ass this weekend, I've been fucking so sick.
Yeah. Everybody in my house got sick as well.
I remember my second shot. I got a fever, but this completely mopped the floor with me, you know, I had a fever, I had nausea, I had lightheadedness at one point. I don't know if this was because of the vaccine or just because I was feeling nauseous and kind of anxious, but my vision got spotty. I had a little mini panic attack thing.
That's not good.
Yeah, I know, it was terrible. But I'm feeling much better today, and if it means I don't get COVID, I mean, I'm pretty happy to do that, because from what I hear, COVID is just one of the worst things to experience unless you have an asymptomatic experience. If you get it and you get any symptoms, your lungs supposedly feel just they're on fire and shit. I don't know. Did you ever have it, or did anyone in your close circle ever have it?
So I theorized that I had a lighter form of it when it first started, because right when the pandemic kicked in, I got really fucking sick and was pretty much bedridden for about 3 days. And it was the most sick I had ever been. But I could still breathe and everything was fine that way. But I definitely couldn't taste or smell things. And it wasn't until nearly a year later that I realized, I was oh yeah, I probably contracted a little bit of the COVID. But I didn't ever officially get it. I didn't go get tested. To see if I had it, because that was when we were just going on lockdown. So I was well, I'll just stay inside and quarantine, I guess. Yeah. In case I do have it, because at the time I was nah, it's not COVID. I'm just got a flu or something. But looking back, yeah, it was probably COVID. But yeah, I haven't gotten it since. I just got sick the other day, and my whole house got really sick. I think just from the weather change. Honestly, it was some bullshit.
Yeah, that I mean the season change and the pollen in the air and whatever, that always kicks my ass around this time. I actually, that was my COVID scare, was I got a sinus infection last year because of my allergies. And when I went in, pretty much step by step, they couldn't rule out COVID. It's either sinus infection or you do have COVID. Yeah. So it came down to the test. And I've only been tested for COVID one time, but I will never forget how that fucking cotton swab felt up my nostril. And they want you to breathe in, too. I gagged so violently. They
asked you to breathe in?
They said breathe in the swab, too, to help it go further. Yeah, it was terrible. So, even before the swab went up my nose, I apologized in advance, because I knew that was going to be one of my worst gagging sounds ever. And it certainly was. I think that doctor would be happy if he never saw me again.
I got tested for COVID 3 times, bro.
Oh, fuck, dude.
It was horrible every time. The swab, I hate the swab. I hate things going in orifices of my face. Yeah. I don't like it. But speaking of orifices in your face, did you consume any media through your eye holes?
My eye holes, I gobbled a few tasty snacks with my eye holes.
What'd you gobble?
Okay, so on Monday, this is my more exciting gobble. I got to see the French Dispatch in Little Rock. It was delightful. And oh my gosh, yeah, I really loved this. I think that Isle of Dogs was a little bit of a disappointment for me because I expected fantastic Mr. Fox levels of quality.
Right.
And I do think it was a very entertaining movie, but I think in terms of Wes Anderson, it felt a little bit blander.
For sure.
And the characters felt a lot weaker than normal. And I'm very happy to report that French Dispatch, it's a bit of a new direction for him because it's more like an anthology movie, really, because it follows these different articles in this fictional newspaper, and it's inspired by Wes Anderson and Jason Schwartzman's like favorite real life articles, and they've just tried to make a new story based around some of their favorite journalist like articles, and it's very cool. It's very interesting, and it's very entertaining and fresh. Like, this is Wes Anderson playing around with visuals like in such a creative way. Like, there's a lot of cool things with aspect ratio and color change in this movie that I loved, you know, and it totally plays into the themes of the movie. You know, it's got like this idea of the past and the ideas of the future, and that's often explored in color, and God, it looks really cool. And I will say this, people accuse Wes Anderson of celebrity stunt casting a lot of the times, but you'd be hard pressed to find any actor in this movie who is miscast or not giving it all for their role. Like, my God, everyone is knocking out of the park. Like, Benicio del Toro is amazing. Adrian Brody is fucking fantastic in it. Timothy Chalamet, you know, he's in everything right now, but he's good. He's great. That's why he's in everything. Frances McDormand, who I always love. Jeffrey Wright, who's, you know, getting his due in Hollywood right now.
Right.
This is a very... Oh, and Edward Norton is in a tiny role. Fucking great. Bill Murray in a very tiny role. Great. Like, all of Wes Anderson's frequent collaborators are here, but he lets this movie be a shine on, you know, some of the newer stars to the Wes Anderson universe, you know? And I think that's a really cool aspect of it. I really loved French Dispatch. Did you get to experience any... I have a second movie. I can't remember what it is, so I have to letterbox it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I've been on a movie binge this past week. I started it off with No Time to Die. It came out. You can rent. I rented it for $20.
Oh,
I shouldn't have done that, but
because you're not that big of a James Bond fan. Right?
Yeah, but I was really excited to watch this movie, and I was really bored, and I saw that it was available to rent, like $19.99, and I thought, you know, fuck it, sure. So I went ahead and spent the money to rent it, and it was a good time. I enjoyed it. It's I think it's better than Spectre.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. So I guess I don't want to say too much about it that hasn't already been said. I will say, why the fuck was Ana de Armas only in 10, 15 minutes of this thing? She was literally the best part of it. I don't like the new Bond.
Oh, the new 007?
The new 007, I mean.
Really?
Yeah, she just comes off as an asshole, and she has like no redeeming quality about her in that fucking movie. And I'm like, y'all are gonna have to impress me a little bit more if we're gonna go forward with this character.
She's not meant to be like the next James Bond.
Well, right. Well, I don't know. It seems like they were leaning towards that. I don't know.
No, they're looking for the next James Bond. 007 isn't necessarily James Bond.
Right.
But James Bond has frequently been 007. But they're like going to start the search next year for a new actor.
I gotcha.
And I think that what Daniel Craig said about not, making James Bond a woman because women should have better roles. Like, I think that's kind of the view that they're taking when casting the new Bond. I think it's still going to be a man. The only thing I think that might happen is maybe they'll, allow maybe an actor of a different race to play James Bond. You know, James Bond's always been a white Englishman, but
people have been championing Idris Elba as of late.
Yeah, Idris Elba's always been like a contender. A lot of people are saying Tom Hiddleston might be a good fit. I think he's a little bit old now for the role. I hope they find a 20-year-old, someone who's pretty young, because that would be cool. I would like to see the character get younger again.
Yeah, definitely. Well, then that makes sense, I guess. I enjoyed Anna de Armas's character way more than I did hers. I don't know the actress's name. God so help me.
I can't remember the actresses other than Ana de Armas.
But yeah, I mean, so I guess my James Bond ranking is going to be Skyfall, Casino, No Time, or Spectre, and then Quantum.
Yeah,
Quantum being the worst. So yeah, so that was cool. What else did you watch before I go into my fucking parade of film?
Oh yeah, I'll just get them both out of the way. I had 2 rewatches. I rewatched Arrival, which was God, still a 5 out of 5. I love that movie. I think it's fucking flawless. I think that's what got me hooked on Denis, and he might be a strong contender for my favorite of his. I don't know. It and Blade Runner 2049 like are in constant warring battles with each other. Like I think the sci-fi nerd, like the cyberpunk kind of loving guy in me always wants to take me to 2049, but I think like the movie he's going to be remembered for will be Arrival. Like I feel like that has universal appeal that Blade Runner 2049 doesn't have, which I think that's why it bombed at the box office. It's just like, that's for a specific group of nerds. It's like the top quality of what you can do for that group, but it's niche for sure. And I mean, that's the same with the original Blade Runner. So you can't really be surprised that it didn't do well in theaters. But Arrival still flawless. I love every performance in that movie. I love the writing. Perfect. And then I also rewatched Lady Bird, which I also think just has pitch perfect casting, fantastic writing, fantastic direction. Like I think Greta Gerwig is just one of the funniest and most talented directors / writers working. I will say that I see this now more as a stepping stone for the heights she hits in Little Women. Yeah. I think that Little Women is the better movie all around, and it's able to carry a lot of the frenetic energy of Lady Bird and a lot of the great comedy moments and fantastic performance and put that into a period piece. Like, I think Little Women is probably the most entertaining period piece to come out in years. For sure. Like, to make that subject not boring to modern audiences is fantastic. And also, it just still retains that sharp edge. I know this was supposed to be about Lady Bird, but now it just has me thinking I need to rewatch Little Women. So yeah, Greta Gerwig, I fully trust her with whatever she wants to do. She's making a Barbie movie now with Margot Robbie and fucking Ryan Gosling as Ken. I'll just say I'm interested, and I'll be in the theaters when it comes out for sure. But yeah, you had a whole film festival worth of stuff this weekend. I stalk you on Letterboxd, so I can prepare for some of the conversations we might have. But what's next on your watch list?
So after I watched No Time to Die, I immediately watched Titane, Julia Ducournau, how you say her?
The French.
The French lady, I think it's Ducournau. I don't. Julia. Okay, listen, Julia. She made a new movie. All right.
Julia. She made Raw. Now she has made Titane.
Yes. You may remember the praise I had for Raw, like a few weeks ago when I watched it. Raw is fucking fantastic. So I was really excited to watch Titane.
I still haven't seen Raw. I want to. I'm a little bit scared of it because it's got such body horror. Yeah. And that's something that honestly scares me about watching Titane is like, do I have the stomach for it? I wonder.
So Titane is just Raw. Well, I'm not going to say it's just Raw. Like, they're two completely different stories. But in terms of like the body horror, Titane is Raw cranked up to 100. Like, it's fucking nightmarish, bro. I will say, I like Raw better. I feel like when it comes to Titane, you're either in two camps. You feel Raw hit better, and Titane just didn't, or you feel Titane is just like what you said with Greta Gerwig. It's, Raw was the stepping stones to hit Titane. I don't necessarily think so. Titane's got some interesting themes that it's exploring. Mainly, what I got out of it was, transitioning, like genders and stuff, and like gender fluidity, which is I mean, the way she did it is fucking cool as hell, and it's a really funny movie as well. There's a lot of humor in it, but it's just a little too weird and a little too. Honestly, I've never fucking said this, but I mean, I'm gonna be honest. At least the first 30 minutes, it's a little too violent for me. Just because it's like you're trying to understand why this character is so violent, and when you get to the end of the movie, and when you're watching as it's going on, you're like kind of like okay. But I feel like the first 30 minutes of the movie is like a tolerance test for you. It's like, are you really going to finish watching this? And it really shouldn't be, because the rest of the movie is not like the first half hour. But I mean, the first half hour is so, unrelentingly cruel, like to like every like character. And it's just, I will say though, the last 5 minutes, my mouth was just agape. I was in utter disbelief at this fucking film. But it's good. I'll say that. But I will say I think Raw is a much more contained, focused story. Titane, she's dealing with a bunch of themes and she's trying to tackle a bunch of different subjects. And for me, it just doesn't, hit as well as it did in her previous work. But she won the Palme d'Or for Titane, which she's the second woman to do so since The Piano with Jane Campion, which I was really excited for. So good for her. Good for you, Julia, if you're listening.
Yeah, and this film definitely has an audience. It's got a lot of 5-star reviews on Letterboxd. A lot of 10 out of 10 A+ reviews out there. It seems like it's one that you either love or it's not for you. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
And I'll maybe catch it sometime when I stomach when I get the courage.
Right. I would definitely try Raw first.
Okay.
And see if you can stomach Raw. Then you can probably do Titane. But if you just can't do Raw, you might want to look up what parts to skip in Titane or something like that. But yeah. Then I watched, this is one that I've been meaning to watch for a while, What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It was fucking hilarious. I'm so mad that I waited this long to watch it. It was interesting because it's like, you could definitely feel Taika Waititi in this, a lot of, what's the word? I forgot the word. It's losing me. When it's not scripted, improvise. It seems like there's some improv in some of the in a lot of the scenes and stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, he's literally in it.
He's literally in it. Yeah. It's just like his humor is like I guess in his other works like Jojo Rabbit and Thor Ragnarok, they're big studio films. So he may have had to dial him back a little bit. But What We Do in the Shadows is just pure Taika. Man, I mean, it's him all the way. It's whatever the fuck he wanted to do. And it's fucking hilarious. And I really enjoyed it. It was a really fun movie.
Yeah. Jermaine Clement, who co-wrote and co-directed the movie, he's one of my favorite comedians. Like, he has a New Zealand band, Flight of the Conchords, that has been very popular for a while. And that's actually how Taika Waititi got his start, was directing episodes of that show. So I think just like two of my favorite Kiwi comedians like getting together. This movie's really so funny. Gotta be maybe my favorite mockumentary movie out there.
Yeah.
And I think that New Zealand humor, like so much of it is based in how silly they sound. So this movie is full of great tidbits. Like there's one line, there's a gang of werewolves that have sworn off swearing. So, like when anyone curses, they're like, "We're werewolves, not swearwolves."
Yeah, we're werewolves. The werewolf bits were like probably the best, I think. I also really like Peter, the Nosferatu like vampire that they keep in the basement. That shit was fun.
Lots of fun tributes to like vampire media in this movie.
For
Very
sure.
loving.
Then I watched Mississippi Burning.
Oh, I wanted to watch that.
Yeah.
Hackman and
Defoe. He is Defoe in this movie. I mean, classic 80s race movie. I don't know what else to say, man. I mean, a little white saviory.
Oh, okay.
So, not as bad as other movies, I will say. I think people give Mississippi Burning a lot of shit because it doesn't stick to the historical accuracy of what actually happened. They stick to it for the most part, but at the same time, it's got those kind of that white savior trope. But I will say, I really don't think it's as bad as shit, even like something like Green Book. It's not even as bad as. And for that, I have to applaud it because I feel like they at least took some care. The only thing I wish every black person in this movie is shown as looking like lifeless and like their eyes are shooting daggers into you. And I get, this community, they were afraid, basically. They couldn't trust anybody, the police, any white people. And I get that certain like anger they had, but they're shown as just they're framed as if they're like wild animals. And it's really not cool how they're framed. But the best thing about this movie, honestly, is Hackman and Dafoe. I mean, they are electric together. I don't know of another movie they're in together, but I want to fucking see it because it was the best part of the movie, to be honest. So, and then I watched Unicorn Store with Brie Larson. It was Brie Larson's directorial debut, I think.
I think so. They did it right after Captain Marvel, right?
Yes. You good?
Yeah, sorry, I had to check something.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, they did it right after Captain Marvel. It's a cute film. It's kind of all over the place, structurally, like story-wise. But I think Brie Larson's not a bad director, I don't think. I think it's got the production design, all the actors are great. It's just the story that lacks a little bit. I think she, I don't know if she wrote it, but it's, let me actually check real quick since I'm here.
I think it was someone else.
I think it was. Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't think she wrote it. But I'd be interested if she ever wrote a film, to see what, that would be like. But yeah, it was cute. And then, I finally caught Shang-Chi in The Legend of the Ten Rings.
Oh, I didn't realize you hadn't seen it yet.
No, I was waiting basically for it to come to Disney+.
What's there now? How is it?
It's good. I mean...
Yeah.
I don't know what to say that anybody else hasn't already said about it. It's just fine, like, Simu Liu and the villain, I can't remember that guy's name. The actor's name, I mean.
Tony
Leung?
Yeah, Leung.
Leung? Yeah. Okay. They're all great. Like, even Awkwafina is pretty
I like her a lot in this comic relief role.
For sure.
I thought she was really good.
I just, it's just, the story, it just kills me. The story is a little bit half-assed, it seems. Even though everybody seemed to have shown up and shown out, like everything's good in that department. But one thing I will say, the visual effects for Marvel are getting to the point, it's worse and worse, man. It's getting to the point where I can notice that these actors are standing in front of a green screen. That they have completely, made everything with CGI. It's just, it's getting abysmal for me. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, the movie was fun. I was very, very surprised to see that there's actually a lot more subtitles in the movie than what I was expecting. They decide to speak Mandarin a lot in this film, and that was cool to see. But other than that, I just don't have anything to add. It's a Marvel film, so
yeah, it's pretty run of the mill. Feels like it could have been a lot better. Maybe if it were a different studio, it just feels kind of limited by the Marvel restrictions.
Yeah, and then right after that, I watched Jungle Cruise, which is also just okay. It's a little shitty, yeah, but I like adventure movies, and so this gave me my little adventure fill. And I mean, like I said in my Letterboxd review, like, there are worse things you could be watching, honestly. Like, I know a lot of people just completely rip this movie apart, but I'm like, man, it's target audience, it's Disney. For what it is, I had some fun with it, for sure.
Yeah, they're not trying to impress anyone.
No, they're not. They're not. And then, so these last three movies probably were not my favorite. A couple of these were probably my favorite watches of the week, and that was Nomad Land. Was amazing. Finally got around to watching it. I fucking loved it. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the rest of Chloe Zhao's work. because she killed it in this. I think it rightly deserved the Best Picture Oscar. I'm not
Really?
gonna lie. I fucking loved it. I think it's great.
I thought it was pretty boring. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I really wanted to like it a lot more than I did. I mean, I think Frances McDormand was brilliant in it as always, and I think it had a really strong start. I just really lost me as it went on. I don't know. I should probably revisit it though with updated expectations. You know,
well.
it seems like one of those.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know. I thought, because when I started watching, I was like, oh, Isaac said this was pretty boring. And I'm like, I hope it's not. But then I found myself completely enthralled, and I was like, wow, this is a nice surprise. I actually fucking love this. And I'm glad it won, because, I mean, God, it was just so good. Mm-hmm. And then I watched Passing. Have you heard of this new film on Netflix called Passing? It's Rebecca Hall's directorial debut. And it's about this, in 1920s New York, this black woman runs into her friend who is passing for white. And she's married to a white man. And she basically like inserts herself into her life, the woman that's passing for white does. And it's just like this drama. It's like it's a drama. It's just purely a drama, but it's shot in the 4:3 aspect ratio, and it's in black and white. And it's probably the best use of black and white that I've seen, and it's completely justified to use black and white. Maybe not the aspect ratio. I'm not entirely sold on the aspect ratio being the box, but the black and white is definitely the correct pick for this. And the production design and the performances are absolutely nomination worthy. Ruth Negga or Nega. I'm sorry. How do you say that?
I think it's Nega.
Nega. Okay. And Tessa Thompson, I think is her name. Mm-hmm. Okay. They're on fire here. Like, performances are fucking great. I just think that it is an incredibly boring movie. Like, the first 10, 15 minutes are cool. The middle hour is just fucking abysmal. I had to stop watching it and go get something to eat and do something else and come back to it. I mean, it's not really got a score. It's got one jazz song that it plays it's like a cue for some themes in the movie. It's annoying as hell, I think, and just a little bit too long, I think. It's an hour and 40 minutes. If it was an hour and 20 minutes, I feel like it would be more digestible. But for a directorial debut for Rebecca Hall, it's pretty impressive. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
I would definitely give your fucking watch count on Netflix to this instead of Red Notice. We don't want more shit like with Dwayne Johnson blowing up shit. We want shit like Passing, because even though I think it's boring, I think it's really important because, one, it's directed by a woman. It's it got an important fucking message. It's got an interesting message, right? It's like one of the most original films I've seen in a long time. And Damn. Netflix needs to put more shit like that out. It's very interesting to watch, I will say. So
one of the most original, really, and it's
It's an hour and 45 minutes, I think. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, no, I was saying it's a 2.5 star rating.
Oh yeah.
Like, wow. I mean, you got to feel pretty strongly about wanting more movies like this if you excuse that you don't like it as much.
Well, yeah, no, I feel like we do need more movies like this. It's like, I feel like it's like, this doesn't feel like a first-time director, and it is. It's Rebecca Hall. Like, it's amazing what she's done here. I just think that she needs to hone the story. Like, I don't know, man. It's just, it kind of made me scratch my head, but I do think that this is the right direction to go, So, yeah. And then lastly, last night I watched Killing of a Sacred Deer.
Yorgos Lanthimos.
Yes, that dude. He's a little crazy, not gonna lie, man.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that I was thoroughly entertained when I watched Killing of a Sacred Deer.
My favorite review on Letterboxd of that movie so far, it was like me drenched in sweat. Where the fuck was the deer? It's like,
yeah,
It's a panic-inducing movie, bro. The way it's shot, like with all the slow zooms and the pans, and just like the camera is constantly moving, even though the characters aren't. Like, oh, fucking, it's brilliantly shot, and the story is weird as hell, but also, I mean, really good. It's just like, Yorgos like hit. This is the peak of like Yorgos's aesthetic with like the deadpan humor, just deadpan everything pretty much, and it's highly enjoyable. The last 10 minutes though are fucking nightmarish. I mean, ugh. But yeah, I really really enjoyed it.
It is very disturbing. It is very slow burny. I mean, it pays off. For sure, and its climax, like I will say it's very memorable, and that kind of describes all of his filmography. But I will say that I like the balance between weirdness and like accessibility that he struck in something like The Favorite. Like, I think that's got to be my favorite Yorgos Lanthimos movie, just because it's got a lot of fun energy to it. Like, and I'm not saying that movies have to be fun by any means. It's just like. Me as a viewer, like I like that, right? I like a little bit of fun.
Yeah, for sure. The only well, I mean, he has other films, but his 4 main ones that everybody: The Favorite, Killing of a Sacred Deer, The Lobster, and Dogtooth. I've yet to watch Dogtooth.
Me either.
But I think so far, out of the 3 that I have seen, I really fucking love The Favorite. And I probably need to rewatch it. And I would say The Favorite would also be my favorite Yorgos movie. But I think Killing is probably my favorite right now. I think Killing of a Sacred Deer is probably my favorite of his films. The Lobster I really liked. It's so cruel, and it's so that movie honestly is just a fucking pain fest. Like, it's just really sad and really like there's no silver lining in The Lobster. Like, even though it's a comedy, it's fucking depressing as hell, and that's what makes me not like it as much as like something like The Favorite. The Favorite's dark too, but I don't know, the characters in The Favorite are more just I like them a lot. And also because fucking Emma Stone is
Emma
amazing
Stone's
in that movie. But yeah, so that was my binge. I'm gonna watch more tonight.
Damn. Okay. I feel inspired to watch something for sure tonight. I don't know what I have free reign of picking. I'll probably pick something that I don't think Ken would want to watch with me. I might. Well, if we're still thinking about doing a thing next week, I might rewatch a certain J movie. In preparation.
J movie.
Yeah, J movie. With the.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I might have to revisit that as well.
We might just have to. I feel like, though, if we're going to go that direction, and this is going to give it away for our film buff audience, but I might want to rewatch Taxi Driver and see King of Comedy, because I still haven't seen King of Comedy. I actually should probably just rent that. You know what? My movie is picked for the evening. I'm gonna do King of Comedy tonight.
Fucking do it! I can't wait to know what you think about it. Like it's one of my favorite Scorsese films right now. It's so fucking good.
Fuck yeah!
I love King of Comedy. It's a goddamn near perfect movie for me, bro. It's really really good. I was sold when I saw Karsten gave it like 5 stars, and he was like, "This is a perfect movie." And then I was like, "Okay, Karsten," and I watched it, and I was like, "No, he's right. This is like a fucking perfect movie. I love this. It's so good." But yeah.
It's choice, love. It's choice.
It's choice.
Well, yeah, we are approaching our 1-year anniversary of doing the podcast. Next week, we want to have a kind of a big event episode. So we're gonna try and resolve some long running bits.
Yes.
Maybe talk just about like the experience. I don't know. We can probably do a Twitter poll or something and see what you guys want to see from us.
I was going to say we could do like a Twitter questionnaire.
Yeah. We could do another Q&A.
Yeah.
I think that'd be pretty special. I know that it's weird to hear us speculating about it on the podcast, but you can always respond afterwards.
Oh, yes, please.
Even if we don't put up a poll, just tell us what you want to see. I'm feeling like maybe this is the length of the episode here. It might be a record short one. I don't know. What are you feeling, Casey?
I mean, yeah, if you don't have anything else to say. I mean, we didn't really we had an idea for this week, but that kind of fell apart. So we were just like, we can ramble, but I mean, I'm trying to think if there's anything important happening that we need to mention, because I feel like we never talked about the Alec Baldwin tragedy, and so I'm like, when something like that happens, we need to mention it on the podcast just as a talking point. I guess now that though, I guess we can mention that real quick. I was using that as an example, but fucking hell, that's really sad what happened. I guess now we have all the information.
We do. Well, we have a great deal of it. I think the thing that is going to develop the most is obviously like who is going to be held legally responsible for the tragedy. It just sounds like a mess. Like the Rust production has been apparently very unsafe for a while. The camera crew had just quit before this incident. We have an armorer who's fairly new to the craft. We have an assistant director who had previously been involved with a movie that had an on-set accident. There's just a lot of factors behind this movie that was kind of, gonna always lead to some kind of disaster. It's just the fact that it's something this tragic and this fucking horrible that
led to the end of somebody's life. Like that's horrible.
This is so preventable, and this is the first time it's happened since The Crow. Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's son, was killed on that movie set because of another live round of ammunition, or maybe even it was just a blank.
Yeah,
it was enough to kill him.
Right,
whatever projectile fired out of the gun.
Yeah,
and I mean that's the thing is this was like a revolver too. Yeah, it has different film standards, and the only 2 incidents that have happened that have ended with a death have been around a revolver being used, a prop revolver. So I don't know. And also another terrible fact in all of this is apparently some of the crew set up a live gun range near the set, and they used prop weapons, and they would load them with live ammunition, and people aren't properly checking. Like, it wasn't Alec Baldwin's duty to check the gun.
Yeah, let's get the record straight here, y'all. I see a lot of fucking shitheads on Twitter talking about send Alec Baldwin to prison. There is a chain of command. I guess really command wouldn't be the words. There's a chain. There's some things that need to happen before a prop gun reaches an actor. And on sets, actors aren't responsible for that. It's the armorer, and in this case, I heard also the AD was held a little bit responsible. The first AD was the one that is supposed to check the gun as well before it's handed off to the actor. And in both instances, it said it was what's the term they use? It's left my head.
All clear, or there's something to refer to the fact that like the gun
it's cold.
Yeah, it's a cold
gun, and it wasn't.
That means there's no live ammunition in it, and there was live ammunition in it. So if someone fucked up there, they didn't actually do the check that they were supposed to. This is something that's really disappointing about this tragedy is that conservative pundits were really quick to jump on Alec Baldwin on Twitter and, shit talk him for his previous talks on gun control and ending gun violence, turning it into a political spectacle really quickly. Like, oh, look at this fucking hypocrite, send him to jail. In no way is Alec Baldwin, this is just my personal opinion on it anyway. Like, obviously he could be held legally responsible depending on what the court or what judge is presiding over this case, but I don't think he should be. I think that his responsibility in this incident is very minimal. It's clearly more of a weapons problem than Alec Baldwin's fault. It's just very unfortunate that he was the one holding the weapon when it discharged and ended the DP's life. Yeah.
Helena Hutchins, the DP. Very sad that she was the one, and then the director even got wounded.
He got hurt. Like the bullet passed through her.
And hit
him in like the shoulder or something. Which, that's got to be extra traumatizing. I don't know if this movie will get finished.
I doubt it. I highly doubt it.
This sounds like something that would absolutely kill it, and that's cursed. So unfortunate that people put in work that ended their lives
Yeah.
on this fucking movie, and it'll probably never be released or be released in a bit of a messy state, you know?
Definitely.
Yeah, absolute tragedy though.
Yeah.
That it's awful. We gotta take the right safety standards to protect film crews. I mean, they
gotta
do.
quit that shit. This half-assery that goes on in a lot of sets, and or just every half-assery that goes on in every major production, whether it be film, music, or theater, whatever. There's still a lot of it, and it's really fucking stupid that we have to act like children still, and people have to lose their lives for it. And we're supposed to be making art, people.
Yeah.
Quit fucking around. It's really infuriating. But man, I don't think anything else has happened, man.
No, yeah, it's been kind of a slow week.
Yeah.
No releases, really. I mean, unless you were hoping to catch Clifford the Big Red Dog this weekend.
Yeah.
That's looking just about what you would expect it to be.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fucking see it. So that's okay with me. So, yeah, it was just kind of a slow week, and I didn't really watch that much, and you didn't catch that much. And our original topic did fall through, but we will hit you guys up with a topic soon. And next week's
gonna be a banger.
Gonna be special.
It's gonna be real special.
So load up your special meters.
Your special meters.
And you get ready, boy. Or girl. Or them, or really whatever you identify as. I respect you and I hear you, and that is what I call you by now.
All right.
Well, cool.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, y'all, I will be dropping stuff on Twitter probably when this episode comes out. So please respond, whatever it is, whatever the question, whatever the poll, respond. And your response will be featured in next week's episode. Whatever it is. Don't know, but you will be. You, the fan, the listener. Thank you for viewers like you. All right.
Smash that motherfucking like button and see us fucking next week! This is where the dubstep intro plays out.
I'm gonna go ahead and... 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 I'm gonna go ahead and end it before you ask me to have another conversation with the vampire.